Hello and welcome to this week's Author Spotlight. We have author Julie Day. This week I'm honored to spotlight author Julie Day, a woman using her voice, her experiences, and her passion to inspire and encourage others through her work. Join us as we dive into her journey as an author, the stories behind her writing, and the message she hopes readers carry with them long after the final page. You don't want to miss this inspiring conversation. Welcome in, Miss Julie Day.
Hello there, Deborah.
Hello, how are you?
I'm fine, thanks. How are you?
You're welcome. I'm doing pretty good. Thank you so much for asking. Yes, ma'am. And thank you for coming here to meet me in virtual all the way from the UK, right? Yes,
Pleasure.
ma'am. Yes, ma'am. All right. So, Miss Julie, so tell us a little bit about yourself. Introduce yourselves to us.
I'm Julie Day. I'm an autistic author and advocate. I mainly write children's books featuring autistic characters finding confidence. I also write picture books and I also write memoir style books, which is one of the things we'll be talking about today.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much for that introduction. I know you mentioned memoir, and that's why we have you here today. So we would love to talk about that. So, but before we get into your actual book, tell us a little bit about your journey as a writer.
Oh, it goes all the way back to the late 90s. I
Mm-hmm.
think I started writing way back then, what they call like reader letters to magazines. Um, and they like very short, sort of like a couple of paragraphs about articles in magazines.
Okay.
And I did that for lots of years, and I managed to get prizes
Okay.
all over the years. Then that sort of graduated to short stories to small press magazines. Um, and then I tried mainstream women's magazines over here in the UK, but didn't get much
Okay.
success with that. And then by that time, I think I was already writing or trying to write romance novels, which I did
Mm-hmm.
for several years after realising that it wasn't me.
Mm-hmm.
I don't do romance as such,
Okay.
and I couldn't do it. And then I found writing with children, and it took
Mm-hmm.
off from there.
Okay, that's amazing. We have to do that as authors. We have to find out what our genre is, what our niche is. So I like that part of your journey. So Miss Julie, so tell us the book that we're discussing today. Tell us the title of your book, and yes, you can show us that picture. Yes, ma'am. And tell us a
There you
little
go.
bit about what inspired you to write this book.
Right, it's endocarditis, my journey. Endocarditis is actually a rare, life-threatening infection of the inner lining of the heart, which
Mm-hmm.
I had 5 to 6 years ago.
Okay.
The book is about basically my journey of having it like 6 years ago in 2020 during the pandemic.
Mm.
From like the symptoms I had to the all the tests I had, which then led to the hospital stay 5 years ago, and how I coped with the hospital stay during the
Mhm.
pandemic.
Okay.
Um, so I had to cope with everything on my own, and then
Mm.
my recovery after the major heart surgery I had to have at hospital and then at home.
Okay. Okay. So I know that it had to been difficult during the pandemic. I'm sure it was a
It
whole
was, it was.
experience.
I mean, I had no choice. I mean, during the
Yeah.
pandemic, I mean, I don't know what it was like over in America, but during
Mm-hmm.
the pandemic, the hospitals had guidelines where um, only certain ethnicities and people who are under end of life care were the only patients who were allowed to have visitors.
Mm.
Anyone else
Mm.
couldn't. So I
Mm.
was there on my own. The only
Mm.
contact I had with family and friends was through the phone.
Oh my goodness. Mm.
So
Yes,
that's how I had to
yeah,
cope.
I can understand. My one of my grandchildren was actually born during that time as well over here in the
Mm,
United States, and my daughter could only have one visitor at a time. So I had to
mm.
share with the father. It was a whole experience. So yes, I can relate to that. So tell us, being we know why you wrote your book. Tell us who this book is for.
Um, Well, initially it was for me to
Mm-hmm.
help me heal the ordeal I went through and to get the
Mm-hmm.
memories out of my brain. But since then, I realised it can help other people who could be in a similar
Mm-hmm.
health situation, health journey that I've been in, especially heart related or
Mm-hmm.
any major health issues, which might include a lengthy hospital stay like I did, to
Yeah.
give them hope and inspiration that
Mm-hmm.
they can fight through it
Yes.
like I did.
Okay, that's very inspirational. I was just reading parts of your story myself, and I was like, wow, and there aren't many people who have, experienced that. So thankfully you're still
No,
here. Yes.
as I said, it's a rare condition.
Mm-hmm. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. So, what was your writing process like when you were writing the book?
Um, well, it really sort of because it was quite.
Mm-hmm.
It was only like within a year and a half of after being out of hospital I started writing it, so all the memories were still quite raw, both in my
Mm-hmm.
head and my heart. Um,
Yeah.
so that sort of flowed quite easily as to what I remembered
Mm-hmm.
throughout my hospital stay and
Okay.
everything while coping with everything that was happening at
Mm-hmm.
home at the time. Um, but I still did have a bit of research as I had to check up on all the dates that things
Mm-hmm.
happened at the hospital, appointments before and during and after.
Yes, I can imagine. Okay, I know had to be a busy time with everything,
Yes, it
going
was.
on. Yes, ma'am. So, what does being an author mean to you, Miss Julie?
Um, well, now it means a lot to me that
Mm-hmm.
I can inspire people with my writing,
Mm-hmm.
whether it's through my memoir or my children's books. Um,
Okay.
you didn't when I first started writing. It didn't really mean that much to me. Yes, it meant that I could share my thoughts and my ideas with other people. That is still the case, but as I said, it's just more now, especially with my children's autism fiction books.
Mm-hmm.
It helps the autistic children to be seen, to be heard, to be celebrated, gives them hope and inspiration.
Yes, ma'am. Okay, I like that. I can relate to that. Because my son is also on the autism spectrum as well. He's an adult now. I was gonna say
Yeah.
teenager, but he's an adult now. He's 21. I can't say he's a kid anymore. So I can definitely understand that. And I do have one extra question that I didn't quite send you. How was it, I guess, being an author and with your autism? Like, did you have any did it help you in any way? Like you said with the memory, or was it difficult or in any way?
um, Writing, being autistic, there isn't any problem with that. I mean,
Right.
when I write the way I do, sort of like I know a lot of people who are authors, they don't write like me. They write straight to computer. I don't. I
Mhm.
do pen and paper.
Okay. Okay.
That's how my brain works. That's how the
Mhm.
ideas flow better.
Okay.
But I also write. I don't know how you write, but I write sort of like from start to finish.
Mhm.
I don't sort of like do one bit and go back and edit it or edit
Okay.
it throughout to the end. I just write
Right.
start to finish,
Okay. Okay. And then you go back
and
and
then
edit
I
it.
go back to the beginning, and then I
Mhm.
sort of do sort of my own self editing that
Okay.
way.
Okay.
It's just the main bit of the being autistic is the marketing.
Right. Okay.
Um, it's the hard bit. I mean, I didn't really sort of market my books when I first
Mm.
started writing years ago. It's only been the last several years,
Mhm.
especially the
Okay.
last few years, that I've really started marketing, especially my children's autism books. And it because
Mhm.
they're paperbacks as well, so I've got
Yeah.
something physical to sell. Whereas
Mhm.
all the other books that I wrote and published over the years are mainly ebooks.
Okay, okay, I kind of like that. My son spends a lot of time on the computer himself, so yes, man. But me even, I write more on the computer on my phone. You know, the word notes and apps and all those on your phones. I do a lot of my
Mm.
writing from there.
Mm.
Yes, ma'am. Okay, so we do have some things in common. Well, you and my son rather, because he gonna say he's not a writer, but he does like to draw from time to time, things like that though. But
Mm.
he does like art and things like that. So that's where his brain works at. So some good stuff for me. I'm like, hey, Michael, how do you think this is, should look and stuff, just to get a different set of eyes and thought patterns and stuff like that.
Mm.
Yes. So, so Miss Julie, what do you hope that readers will take away from your work?
Right, from my memoirs,
Mm-hmm.
I said hopefully hope and inspiration if
Mm-hmm.
they themselves are going through a major health crisis like I did,
Mm-hmm.
or even they have a relative or someone they know they want to support, they can read that to sort of help them understand, especially if
Mm-hmm.
it's heart related,
Yeah.
give them inspiration towards that person.
Mm-hmm.
The children's autism fiction books, again, I said that hope and inspiration for the autistic children and the families, that they could
Mm-hmm.
be feel seen, heard, and celebrated in books today, which a lot of them aren't.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Um, and I have actually been told from my children's books that they are needed.
Yes, they are. They are needed. Yes, ma'am. I haven't quite delved into the children's books myself just yet, but they are needed. Those, yes, ma'am. So keep writing them, Miss Julie. So, would you like to read a little excerpt from your book,
Oh gosh.
if you would like to?
Oh dear, not that bit. Okay.
Yes, ma'am. Take your time.
There you go.
Okay.
Right, it's a passage about when I went to uh, transferred to the second hospital because I was in 3 hospitals
Oh, wow.
over nearly 8 weeks. Um,
Mm.
this is the second one I was in. One of the first things I had done was to have a TOE, which is short for echocardiogram.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a gastroscopy where you have a tube with a camera on it put down your throat, but the tube goes to your heart and not your gut.
Mm-hmm.
This was to see what exactly had gone down there. It was from this that I was diagnosed with endocarditis, as they
Mm-hmm.
could see all the infection present. I believe that it was after this that the doctors had talked with St Thomas's Hospital for me to go there and be under the extra specialist adult congenital heart disease team. There you go.
Okay, all right, yes, ma'am. That definitely sounds interesting. It definitely can pull the reader in because they want to find out, what happened. And you said that was at the third hospital there.
That was the second.
Second, okay, so yes, ma'am. So it's
That was the
definitely
second, which gave me the
mhm,
diagnosis, which then made them realise I needed to go to
to the
St
third
Thomas's
one.
Hospital, all in
Mhm.
London,
Okay.
to the extra specialist heart team.
Okay.
This is where I ended up
Mm-hmm.
um, having the heart surgery and pacemaker
Okay.
fitted.
Okay. Okay. Then. All right. So wow, and it hasn't even been. You said 5 years ago, right? Not well. Yes, not really long
Yeah,
ago.
5 years ago,
Mm.
2021.
Yes, ma'am. Okay. Well, thank you so much for sharing that excerpt with us. I know that's going to pull the readers in because it's definitely an interesting story. You just it's something that you don't hear about every day. So, Miss Julie, tell the readers, where can they find your books at?
Right, all my books are available on Amazon.
Okay.
Most of them are available via my website, julieaday.co.uk.
Okay.
But if you're over in America, then Amazon is the best option.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and
Okay.
Endocarditis My Journey is also available as an ebook. And as an
Mm-hmm.
ebook, it's not just available on Amazon, but it's available on most of the ebook retailers like Kobo and
Okay.
Draft Digital,
Mm-hmm.
etc. Apple,
Yes, okay. So everywhere, right?
nearly everywhere.
Okay,
Yes,
yes, ma'am. That's awesome. That's awesome. And I do have one last question before I let you go, Miss Julie. Do you do any like outside events or any vendor events in your home?
yes,
Okay.
yes. I have done. The last couple of years, I started doing in fairs and that at a local
Mm-hmm.
library. The last couple of
Okay.
years, I've expanded, do more libraries,
Mm-hmm.
um, fairs there. Last year and this year, I've also found sort of like fairs that are autism related. So
Okay.
I've been able to sell quite a lot of books there,
Okay.
and I've also recently been reaching out to local primary schools, like junior schools,
Mm-hmm.
for my children's books, and
Okay.
do sort of like have a stall at their summer fairs. And
Mm-hmm.
I've got one booked for the end of June
Okay.
at a very local primary school, which happens to be my old primary school,
Oh wow.
which I haven't been to for decades. I haven't been to for decades.
Right. Oh, yes,
And
that's
I've
good.
had got one possibility, another local one, also in
Mhm.
June. I'm waiting for details for that one.
Okay.
Another summer fair. Plus, sorry to mention the C word, but I've got one
Okay.
booked for a Christmas fair.
Okay. So you got a lot of things going on. That is
Yes,
amazing, Miss Julie. From one author to another. That's we have to keep busy. Got to put those books out there, right?
yes.
Yes, ma'am. Well, I would like to say, Miss Julie Day, thank you so much for taking the time out of your day and for us getting our schedules together to be here for this interview. I really do appreciate it. And was there any last words you would like to say?
Well, thank you very much for having me. The
Mm,
opportunity to tell everyone about me and my books.
yes,
Thank you
ma'am.
so much, Deborah.
You're welcome. You're welcome, Miss Julie. Well, everyone, I would like to thank you again for watching this episode with Miss Julie Day. And make sure you all check out her book. It is an amazing story, heartfelt story. So again, thank you so much, Miss Julie, and you have a wonderful day. And we'll be in touch soon. Okay.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay,
All right.
bye.
Bye bye. And thank you so much for watching this video. We normally do them live, but we did this one pre-recorded because of the time difference from me being in the southeastern United States and Miss Julie Day being in the UK. So again, thank you so much for taking the time out to watch this video. And make sure you support Miss Julie Day and learn her story and learn all about her and support her work. She's an amazing author. And again, this is Deborah J with Harobeds Thoughts. Our words matter. And we have just shined a spotlight on Miss Julie Day. See you all in the next video.